Hello everyone, welcome to this video. So in this video, we are going to discuss about Pentesting Bug Bounty Mindmap. So here I have released my Mindmap that I use for bug bounty hunting or pentesting while I'm approaching a target. So remember, mind maps are very important and they play a crucial role to make your approach and your methodology better whenever you are doing any pen testing or bug bounty on any particular target. Remember, mind map directly represents how you're going to approach your target, what will be your next steps, so you stay clear with your approach, your steps, and what are the things that you are going to look first and increase the scope towards your target. Everyone should have their own mind map. Here you can utilize my mind map to make your own approach or methodology. You can also do additions into this as per your own choice, or you can directly utilize the same mind map and approach and methodology that I use. In this mind map, I have tried to cover each and everything that is important, which you should not miss when you are pen testing any target. I have also tried to add some of the GitHub tools that I use, which are being demonstrated with the help of a GitHub icon, and some of the websites or links that I use are being represented with the help of links. Alright, let's quickly jump into this and let's see the mind map. So over here, if I zoom, let's start from here. So the first thing that comes to mind is increasing the scope for any target. For the first thing, that is ASN. ASN numbers are very important to identify the IP ranges for any particular target. For that, you can use the IP blocks or subnet for any specific target. I have listed down the websites and links which you can utilize to identify any specific IP or any specific ASN number for any target. You can take the results from there, run mass scan to filter live IPs and domains, and then you can run nmap-sv, which is for version detection for those IP addresses, to find out outdated services or any ports which are left open intentionally or unintentionally that may be running some older versions or services, which you can directly exploit using searchsploit, metasploit, exploitdb, or any particular open source exploit. You can also use web screenshot for visual recon and identify if there are any vulnerable internal applications or unauthenticated dashboards that are there onto those IP addresses. Through this, you will get a lot of juicy information and sensitive information about any specific target, which can lead to a P1 or a critical type of vulnerability. Next thing I do is brand discovery acquisitions, which is basically to identify what are the companies or the organization associated to your target. The best thing that you can do is use Crunchbase acquisitions, and you will come to know which are the acquisitions that have been done by your target. For example, Google, Facebook, or Apple has many acquisitions. You can hunt on them, and if acquisitions are in scope, yes, you will get a valid vulnerability report and a bounty. Some more tricks that I use is using trademark. You can use the trademarks like facebook.com@2020. You can also reverse the number of years, go in a reverse order like 2019, 2018, and you will get many websites which have these types of trademarks at the bottom or footer of their web applications. Next thing I love to use is reverse whois to identify about the target. So first do a whois onto your target. For instance, you do a whois on Facebook. At that time, you're going to get some results. So let's say you take the results, which is the email address, the tech email, and the email that you identify is domain@fb.com. Do a reverse hoist onto that particular email using viewdns.info or tools.hoist XML API, and you will get all the target domains and subdomains that use the same tech email, and they may be related to the main target domain, that is Facebook. So this way you can hunt acquisitions or related companies using reverse hoist, which gives a very good and wider approach strategy to identify vulnerabilities for any specific organization. Next thing I love to do is content discovery, that is using the top level domains. The next thing you can do is to identify subdomains so you can increase and widen your scope. I do subdomain enumeration based on vertical correlation and horizontal correlation. In vertical correlation, I find subdomains like beta.google.com. This is a subdomain for google.com, which is vertical correlation. Also, you can use the chaos of project discovery project to identify subdomains for a lot of programs which are hosted on HackerOne, Bugcrowd, Integrity, and some of the private programs as well. Also, I love to use Sublister, AMAS, Aquaton, Nuclei to identify subdomains and also do async brute forcing. Next, you may also get some of the subdomains, or you can say nested subdomains like alpha.beta.google.com. For that, you can also use Subfinder, or you could brute force subdomains with the help of word list, and you may get some of the hidden subdomains which are not being crawled by these crawlers of Sublister, AMAS, Aquaton, Nuclei, and you may get new subdomains which exist for you. Next thing I do is horizontal correlation. That is basically those target domains which are an acquisition. They can be a sister or parent company to that particular target. For example, blogger.com, youtube.com is related to Google, and you, after doing a horizontal correlation, can identify vulnerabilities into these two domains, and you can report it to the main target domain, which is google.com. So after doing the content discovery part, we will go on to the certificate transparency. The certificate transparency logs also helps us in identifying and increasing our scope for the target. You can use cert.sh, or you can also use the cert.sh automation script, which you can find it on GitHub, through which you will be able to scrape or crawl all the target domains and subdomains of any particular organization which has been given a valid certificate. For instance, you can go on cert.sh and search for gov.in. When you will type this particular search query, you will get all the results for the domains and subdomains which have been assigned a SSL certificate with gov.in, and in this way you can report all valid security vulnerabilities to Indian government websites. Similarly, you can try to identify SSL certificate given to Google, Facebook, Uber, PayPal, Verizon Media, etc. I also like to use the Google certificate transparency logs, and you can also use the Facebook certificate transparency logs as well. Next thing I like to do is the JS enumeration, which is the JavaScript enumeration. Using JS enumeration, you may get sometimes a lot of sensitive information which is being hidden into the JavaScript files. Sometimes hidden endpoints like AWS endpoints or S3 buckets, sometimes access to internal dashboards, sometimes API keys. You can utilize all these tools to identify information through JavaScript. Next is recursive DNS enumeration. You can use Cyborg, DNSGen, DNS Recon, or you can automate DNSGen with Masscan to do recursive DNS enumeration and identify a lot of subdomains for any specific target. Next, I love to do or use hacks which mainly consist of most of the awesome repositories which have been created by Tom Nom Nom and repositories which has been made by the project discovery team. So these are some of the tools which I use, mostly GF for pattern matching for different types of vulnerabilities like XSS, SSRF, SSTI. Based on the pattern matching, I use that, and also I do manually grep and egrep to filter the patterns and the scope, and I try on all of the targets after doing the pattern matching as well. I love to use the Nuclei template. There are awesome templates for CVEs and other vulnerabilities that you can run, and you can do a mass scaling hunting on many targets. Next, I love to do subdomain takeovers. You can utilize can I take over XYZ, in which you will be able to identify a lot of fingerprints for any specific subdomain takeover vulnerability. I love to use these particular tools, which are subover, subjack, takeover, subz, hostile, subdomain takeover, in which you will come to know if any particular subdomain has a dangling scene name, can be taken over or not. Next is a wayback enumeration. For wayback enumeration, I use wayback URLs by Tom Nom Nom. You can also use param spider, which is written in a Python programming language. I also use parameth wayback unifier to get URLs and parameters from the wayback crawl data, which is sometimes very useful, wherein you do not want to do active spidering or you do not want to spider any specific target. Sometimes this is also useful because you may get some of the spidered URLs which are being broken right now but still exist, which your burp suite will never be able to crawl it. And of course it is faster because we are not sending any active request to the target, so basically we are not also doing a DOS onto that specific target. Alright, these are some of the web application attacks that I see when I'm onto a target, which starts from SSRF. So I use nib.io, burp collaborator, SSRF map. These are some of the tools that are very useful in identifying and mapping SSRF based vulnerabilities. For CORS, I used CORS scanner, CORS-E, and GF patterns. CSRF, I use Blazy, CSRF scanner, Bolt, burp CSRF POC. I also use the burp suite CSRF POC generator. For XSS, I use XSS Scrippy, which is basically a XSS spidering tool, and it automatically spiders all the URLs and endpoints and replaces XSS payloads over there. XSS Strike, XSS GF patterns, and Wayback Hunt, which is basically taking all the URLs from the Wayback and passing it to the GF patterns, and then grepping which URLs do not filter the output or basically do not do proper HTML sanitizing. I also like to use command injection. For that I use comics and again GF patterns. For open redirect scanner, again GF patterns plus Wayback archive data. Alright, now let's come to the right hand side and see what we have got. So in GitHub Recon, I used all these tools. I also love to do GitHub Recon manually because I have identified a lot of sensitive information about a target using manual docs as well. So there are a lot of things which have been kept open which should not have been kept open by developers. So it is unwise to keep something sensitive into GitHub, which can be a API key, which can be credentials, or which can be some sensitive tokens which are active for any of the internal dashboard applications or any IP address. The most important, which I believe, is visual recon, because I kind of run scanners on any specific target IPs that are, let's say, 20,000, 25,000 IPs, and I do visual recon because I cannot manually go and check what has happened over there. Of course, we do pattern matching and grepping, but visual recon is again useful. I use tools like Aquatone, Web Screenshot, and Eyewitness to take screenshots of that particular target or private IP ranges when I'm scanning or doing a mass scale on ASN ranges. Next is CMS identification. I use tools like Webalizer, Builtwith, Netcraft, whatwebretired.js. These are some of the tools and websites which tell you about the underlying technology that is onto any particular target, which is useful and important for making a kill chain in identifying if the target is using any outdated version of WordPress, let's say, identifying the publicly available exploit and getting a shell onto that target. Coming to the word list, yes, there are awesome word lists that have been created by Seclist. I use them a lot. You can also use JSON Haddix all.txt, DNSGen, content discovery all.txt, payloads all things is again a very good and useful repository. Also, if you want to make your own custom word list, you can also do that. Make your own custom word list for each target, because there may be chances that target A and target B may be different in terms of parameters. At that particular time, you can make your custom word list. You can take parameters from burp and JS files and give it to wfuzz as well, in case you want to do fuzzing to any particular target. For WAF identification, I use WAFWoof and Nmap ANSI script. It gives me a quite wide scope, and I get to know, okay, the target is protected by Cloudflare, Sucuri, or OWASP mod security WAF. So this way I know I do not have to do a DDoSing of payloads over there, or I do not need to brute force. I need to try some of the WAF bypass payloads so that I can easily bypass that and do not get blocked. For virtual host, I use WebTool and virtual host scanner to identify if there are any other virtual hosts running onto the same IP address to increase my scope. For port scanning, I use MassScan. Then I feed those results to Nmap, and I also use Nabu to identify the hidden endpoints of the ports, or any ports which are running outdated services, or they have been kept open and running default credentials. So this way, port scanning has helped a lot of times, through which you may end up finding a very critical vulnerability. Now, the last is fuzzing. So for fuzzing, I use wfuzz, ffuf, and GoBuster. Out of these, ffuf is the fastest, in which I have got tremendous response speed and very good results. It depends on your word list, what type of word list you are using, obviously, but ffuf is the fastest of all for fuzzing web applications. So this is it for this particular video, and I hope you guys understood with the help of this mind map. And remember, the last points for this video is no mind map is perfect for anyone. There are awesome security researchers which have already given many mind maps, but down the line there are always new attack vectors that keep on coming. There are new vulnerabilities which have kept on arising, and there are new awesome tools which have been, or which keep on being releasing. So it may happen all the time that there may be new vulnerabilities which should be added to our approach and methodology, and I will try my level best for as much as I can keep this mind map updated for every one of you. I hope you guys understood and liked this video. Thank you.